Good evening, everyone. My name is Someshwar. I welcome all of you on behalf of Art of Living organization to Yog Vaashishtha evening sessions. नमस्ते, मैं सोमेश्वर आप सभी का आर्ट ऑफ लिविंग संस्था की तरफ से योग वाशिष्ठ के सायंकाल के सत्र में स्वागत करता हूँ। हम लोग नवरात्रि का उत्सव भी मना रहे। आज अपने नवरात्रि उत्सव का अपना डे 2 है। दूसरे दिन की नवरात्रि की आपको बहुत बहुत शुभकामनाएं। अपने सत्र की शुरुआत हम लोग 3 बार ओमकार का उच्चारण करके करते हैं। सो लेट अस ऑल क्लोज अवर आईज, अपनी आंखें बंद कर लें। सिट कंफर्टेबली, आराम से बैठ जाएं। रीढ़ की हड्डी सीधी हो, गर्दन सीधी, शोल्डर्स रिलैक्स्ड। लेट अस ब्रिंग बैक आवर अटेंशन टू आवर ब्रेथ। Breathe in and let go. Take one more deep breath. And as you breathe out, drop all your past and come back to the present moment. This present moment is new. Let us welcome this moment by chanting Om 3 times. Breathe in. Let us awaken the divinity within. गुरु का आवाहन कर ले। आवाहनम आवाहनम आवाहनम। पुनः let us express our gratitude towards the divinity, towards the master. गुरु वंदना कर ले। गुरुर् ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णु गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरुर् साक्षात् परब्रह्म तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः। तस्मै श्री श्री गुरवे नमः। Let us pray to the divinity. गुरु से प्रार्थना कर ले। Whatever the words that we speak, whatever the thoughts that arise in our mind, the power of discrimination that arise in our intellect and impressions that might be getting created in our memory? If so, and if still there is an I, me, let that be inspired by the master alone. We, the people walking on the path of liberation, experience that liberation right now, this moment. Or if you are already liberated, let the remaining life, and if you have to come back here with some purpose, let that be inspired by the master. Pray like this. Feel the presence of the master within and outside. And with a gentle smile on your face, you may open your eyes. जय गणेश. So today we are on day 73. आज हम लोग 73वें सत्र में यहाँ पे पहुंच चुके हैं. चैप्टर नंबर 5 स्टिल कंटिन्यूज. उपशम प्रकरण अभी भी अपना बरकरार है. And the story that we saw yesterday, the Gadhi Brahman, there is this person called Gadhi Brahman, and he also becomes curious what is this illusion is all about. We have been hearing about it. We say that this entire world is just a Maya, just an illusion. I really want to experience that. So with that intention, he continues to perform the tapa. And because of that, Vishnu comes here and grants him that boon that, okay, fine, if this is what you want, you will get it. You will be able to experience this Maya, this illusion. And that is exactly what happens that one fine day when he is standing in the lake, and suddenly he starts seeing some things happening, which we have covered till yesterday. So he sees that he has taken a birth. Initially he sees that he died. Then he sees that he has taken a birth as an hunter. And then he sees that everybody dies over there because of some disease. And then he travels from there and becomes the king. And then after becoming the king, again that his secret, the past secret is revealed. And because of that, he has to step down from the kingdom. And then he has also seems to be offering his life, sacrifice his life. And then he once see this, he still find himself in the lake itself, that he was doing all these things. So he thinks that, okay, what was this? And he thinks that, okay, probably this is just an hallucination, this is just an Brahm, this is just an probably daydreaming, some fantasy, some daydreaming. It happened like this, and he continues to perform his day-to-day routine activities. So there comes this person. One fine day, the guest comes at his place, and he accommodates that guest. And then after the dinner, they sit together and they do chit chat. So that point of time, that person, when he asks that, how come you are in such a condition? Look at you, how you weak you have become. So then that person narrates the story, what have happened to him in that Kir Desh. So he noticed that, okay, there was this king, and then his secret was revealed, and all the entire thing that he narrated over there. Now looking at that, he really becomes curious, what is it? So just to validate, he goes to that same Bhuta Mandala space and he validates that, yes, this is something that has happened. Then he again goes to that Kirdesh also and sees that, yes, this is also happened like this. And that is what is really makes him wonderstruck. So he comes back from that Kirdesh and he comes back to his ashram. And now he really wants to find out what is this all about. And then again he goes to one mountain, and then he starts doing his tapacharya. Spent almost 2 years of his life like this, and then again the Vishnu appears in front of him. So Lord Vishnu, he now expresses that what is this that have happened. Initially when he thinks, okay, probably whatever this has happened is just because of the Maya, that boon that has been offered by Lord Vishnu to me. It is because of this thing, this is all this have happened. But despite of knowing that it is the Maya which is the shown by the illusion which is shown by Vishnu to me, but I am still being in a very, very confused state. I still do not understand what this Maya is all about. I have seen it, I have experienced it, I know how it is now, but I do not know why this has happened like this. I'm not able to correlate the activities. There are multiple questions which are still unaddressed. I still do not know how come when I spend just a couple of some time in that lake, and how could I spend that entire life, so many life years altogether in the Bhuta Mandala as a hunter, and again 8 years there in the Kirdesh, just didn't sound what is this all about. Then he also thinks that, okay, fine, if I think that is just an illusion that can run, so the dream can happen like this, it's fine. How come that the same dream which is confirmed by this guest who came to me, how come other people also saw the same dream? How come the same thing, same Brahm, if it is, even if it is an illusion, appears to all the people around or there at a time? All these things are questions are still unanswered, and because of these things I am really confused now, not getting what is the purpose that I wanted to understand this. Now I do not know, I am actually getting more deeper into it instead of getting out of it. So really want to understand what this Maya is more in depth, and then how do I come out of that Maya? That is the important thing, right? So once you have understood, you need to come out of that. Well, how is that? How one can do that? So this is all happens. He goes and prays to the Lord Vishnu, and again, when Lord Vishnu comes here, he start asking that this is what is happening with me. You have granted a boon. That boon has shown me this Maya. I could see that what it is, but then it has left me a very big confused. I am not really able to understand it properly, and I'm getting stuck into it. Kindly please guide me. Now this is where Vishnu starts addressing one by one, and let us if we have any more such questions, let us do that and understand why and what and how this have happened. So here let us first see what is it that Gadhi asked to Lord Vishnu, addressing them one by one. So the first thing that he asked that now what is the difference between this? So we have seen this once you are in this thing, and if you go into your dream, the concept Deshakal is not present. This is just imaginary. It is imaginary. So as it is imaginary, if we go into multiple distance, now that time difference will be there. Now, if we look at from science perspective, from technology and science perspective, this has been explained in the form of Einstein's theory of relativity, and because of the difference and the distance and gravity, no, is equal to mc², right? So because this gravity and the, if you are able to travel more than the speed of the light, then you will be able to even do the time travel. And because of that only, if you are there on one particular, now if you see the movie called Interstellar, in that Interstellar movie, this concept is very well used, that where that the entire Earth, planet Earth, all the crops are getting destroyed, and very soon it will go cropless and people will die out of hunger. So instead of now saving this earth, they do not find any way to save this earth. They want to go and shift to the new planet. So I want to understand where this new planet is, where the life can sustain. And then they are already sent some 10 people on this mission. Out of them, 3 they are getting the signals back, and those are the 3 places. From there, now they want to send another set of people who will go there, validate it, which is the good one. And meanwhile, the professor, the scientist, will solve the equation of this gravity so that they can teleport all these beings to that particular planet, and that is how they can save the entire world. So now like this, it has been said here also that when we see that when one sees that particular dream, the time that we spend here, this is exactly what we saw in the movie called Inception also. No, the just 10 hours in the flight is equivalent to 1 week in the level 1 of dream. Then when you enter to another level of dream, it's 6 months, and then to the third level of dream, 10 years. No? So exactly similar thing happens to Gadhi Brahman also, that he is just waiting for some time in the lake, and he sees that a number of years passed in that dream or that Brahm or that illusion. So it is because of this is all possible. So both ways, spiritually, if you see it as a dream, and if you see it scientifically also, this thing can be understood. And it has happened with us, no? In one night itself, you see a dream, and then so much of time frame is passed by, and we experience that. This has multiple times, this has been experienced by. So this is what the first explanation that has been given by Lord Vishnu to Gadhi Brahman. Or we have picked up some example from the latest other movies and the science also. Now the other things that Gadhi Brahman asked is that fine, okay, I understand that. That's okay, thank you so much. But I really do not understand if it is a Brahman, if they have seen it, how come even the other people see the same thing? Now it's something which is really confusing. I really am curious about it. Now Lord Vishnu explained that, see, whatever the things that you have actually seen, it is purely because of that your inflicted chitta. Chitta means not Atma Chaitanya ala Chitta. Chitta means your mind. No, it is inflicted that vasana because of the Vishayas and because of the entanglement and Kama, Krodha, Lobha, Mada, Moha, Matsya, because of those 6 distortions and the outward going tendencies of your mind. It is because of all combination of this. Now it is happening because of all this. You have started experiencing is this. So it's your own chitta only, which is not yet become pure, which is not still stuck into all these things and experiencing this. So that is the first thing. Now let's see, that is the chitta of Gadhi Brahman. So let's say that chitta is there in something called as bigger chitta or Chidakash, which is the Chidakash of the Chaitanya. Means that is the another layer we can say. Now in that Chidakash, there are multiple Chitta Akash of multiple people. And then there is also concept of something called as Veshti, means some individual consciousness, and Samashti means the supreme consciousness. Yeah. Now that also has its own Chitta, that Akash, and in that Chidakash there are these small different Chitta, n number of infinite Chitta Akash are there that it can exist. Now certain things can happen on the grassroots level and certain things happen on the individual level. Now it is very like possible that the Chitta Akash of Gadhi Brahman, and there are multiple other people who are thinking about the same thing at a time. No, like exactly the same poem, 2 poets, right, who are at different places and they write it. It can happen like this. It has multiple times we see this, it has happened. Many times we are from Art of Living or Gurudev Shri Ravi Shankar, he takes one sankalpa, and how come that sankalpa reaches to many of their devotees without he actually coming and telling about it? We have seen it happening. So these are some of the possibilities that is been explained here, how these things are possible. So here Vishnu tells Gadhi Brahman that there is this Vyapak Chitta, means that there is this common Chitta. Because of common Chitta, these things are possible. Like, and he also explained these possibilities of yes. So he says that it is such a thing that in this chitta, all these things are possible. Because this chitta infinite possibilities and it can get you into all such delusions and it is capable of doing that. So that is one of the things that he explains over here. No? Now it is the same chitta, it gets into all these other things. I'm somebody different, that ahankara. No? Then for that discrimination, this is good, this is bad. Then this is janma, this is mrityu. No, this is death, this is born. Then this person is like this, that person is like this. This thing is like this thing is like this situation is like this, situation is like that. So all this dividing, bathe, and other multiple such illusions. No, it is capable of creating in itself. That is how this mind is. So because this mind, all this whatever you have just see, it is all possible because of that thing. So what is that you went there and you take birth, then you saw your own body, then you yourself as a king, you saw your thing in sacrificing your life. All these things have happened in this Brahmita only. Nothing of that actually. It's because of this chitta which has created this. This is the Maya. You want to know that it is Maya of chitta. So that actually it is called the chitta Prakash, and at gross level, that samashti level, it is called as the chitta Prakash. So again, it is the same chitta only causing all these delusions, and it can cause that multiple that simultaneously, also which you already experienced. That is Vishnu explains to him. Now, you think that okay, something which I see with my visual eyes, that is something is, and the thing which I see in the dream is something real, but in reality, what you see, probably this could be just a dream. Else is dreaming that you are just a character there, or you yourself is dreaming you are another birth. That is also another possibility. So like this only you have saw that multiple events, in your life. So just like a dream. Now he continues there that whenever you see this, all these things that that samudaik is something which we already seen. Then he continues that it is just like we see that there are small kids who play the same game at a time. They are in the same consciousness that point of time, and they play it, right? So that is possible. If there is an army, that soldiers are there together, at a time they go and experience the same thing. Some of them are there, and at a time, while all these events are happening, some of them run away, some of them kill somebody. All these things happen at an individual level also, and there is a common war which is going on in between them. So that is also, both the things appears to be possible over there. So now, because of the prarabdha, that whatever that you have to pay for, that whatever the past karma, and because of that prarabdha, all these things happens like this. Now this kal and its distinction, that is also imaginary, which I have seen it, and we also seen from a scientific perspective how is that possible. So because of this thing, there is this anshatmak, means kal, that infinite time frame, in that we define based on your sun and moon and the rotation of that, rotation of the earth, you define some time. Okay, one day, day and night, a second, minute, hour, week, month, year, and so on, continue. So all these things are based on all these calculations of the rotations of the earth and the moon around the earth and the rotation of earth around the sun. Now that is something which is known to us. Now again, this other things that comes, now this is anukul and this is pratikul, means this is favorable situation and this is non-favorable situation. Again, all these things are just because of this nitya, means this is just because of this illusion. In an illusionary mind itself, all these things happen. So once that one has forgotten his himself, real self, that atma, paramatma, whatever you call that, is immaterial, but you just that in this all this thing that no, you think I'm real here, I am body, you that body consciousness, then you see you are things over here, then you start possessing them, then you start imagining other people also, other jivatmas, and then make a relationship with them. You say this is mine and this is not mine, this is my friend and this is my enemy. All this is happening again. It's an illusion in you alone. When you think about your own self, this is exactly what happens. So you do all these things, and now you contemplate on your own atma, your own self. You that is worth it is achieved. Now he says that fine. I will do this. I will contemplate on this, and I'll get back to myself. But when I think about all this, again, Gadhi is raising one more question here to Lord Vishnu. That yes, fine, I will do this, whatever you are suggesting, I'll definitely follow that. But look at what is happening with me, that even though it was a dream, and I just spent it as a hunter, and whatever did I do, despite of being a Brahman, I imagine like this, and I did all these things. Now that I remember again and again. And that is when I start thinking about my Atma Vichara or the self-realization. It doesn't allow me to go deeper into meditation. The same thoughts, the same experience comes back again, and it hovers down in my mind. So how do I get over that situation? Because that is what is not allowing me to get into the deeper thought of Atma Gyan, deeper thought of my own self. So now here Vishnu again explains him that, see, Gadhi, this Atma Vichara, once you forget that, then all the other things starts happening like this. So even the experiences of the past, which you think as a sanskara and which you think that are there in your memory as a sanskara, or we also call it sanchit karma, past prarabdha, all these things. And now because of that, you have to go ahead and pay for that. So something have happened with you in your life also, and because of that only you have experienced it like this. And now that you have known that okay, it's happening because of this, what is that you're supposed to do? If you want to really get rid of it, obviously you have to go and understand the reality of your own self. That is the one thing that will come now. He will suggest that. But before that, he says that that whatever the things you are doing, it is sometimes happen that jwar, that pitta, no, it goes the way your body becomes sick, right? The mind also becomes sick. Now that is we say no psychiatry and all that, psychiatric and all these doctors and that, because it's manasic, it is at the level of mind. So it goes and inflict that mind, and it is because of that all these things again and again it overs to it. So with practice, you'll have to do a practice of this, because yes, it is happening with you. I do understand that. But with the practice, what are these hallucinations and this Brahm which is coming, it is also just kalpit. It is not reality. It is also at the level of your mind only. It is Chitta only is imagining like this, and you again get to experience the same thing again and again and again. So how to get over this? I have here now. He explains that what you do now, you drop your past. Now you drop, don't worry about your future. And in the present moment also, in this Vartaman thing, whatever the things are happening with you, that you start doing what is that you do the things without having any great hurry to achieve it. Means without having any feverishness attached to it. You start doing like that. No? So then what will happen at this present moment, when you start doing things and such things which are you do, these things will not start bothering you. No? Then with this thing, you will be able to get over this. No? So again and again, punah, you continue to remind yourself that this is how it is. Now he also explained that in the outer world, that other things that we see, no, that this mind itself take the form of that. He says that okay, I am this Kantaj, this is my family, no, this is my name, this is my family, then this is my house, then this is some concepts that we form, No, this is how this thing is like this, and then it also takes the form like that. No, all these illusions that comes into the mind. Now you really, it could be possible that you really feel wonders about it, and because of this, because of that, the one who is not yet self-realized, the one who does not have that Atma Jnana, no, they will go and imagine, because of this, they will keep on imagining this, which is different than the self, and all the other things that are whatever you have just seen and you experienced, and multiple things that you say that you are this, no, this is mine, I am like this, all these things, and moment to moment, and it is not that okay, you'll stuck on moment to moment, it will keep changing in your mind, and you'll start imagining all these things, and like this infinite objects, people and situation you will create out of this own chitta itself, and you will get entangled with them also. So this is just a game of that kalpana, just imagination, which is completely happening in thoughts in mind, and because of that, it just like a projector which projects on the screen, and it just starts happening like this. It's exactly happened to you when you were standing in the lake, and you just started projecting, and it started happening with you. You started as if you part of it, and you experience that. So it is again this chitta only, which is taking all these different forms, which is also appears as the Jagat. The outward thing also it is like this. So now Vishnu is now giving him the more insights about this, what this Maya is all about. So he's explaining it's all this Maya, everything, it's all there. It is purely because of your that chitta, that individual chitta, chittakash and the chidakash. It's all happening within that. It is that Maya which is making it all this possible. Now all the multiple questions that are there now are being removed from Gadhi, and then now he is now guiding him that now you follow these things, whatever is I have told you, and now you start walking on this path and leave this Brahma. This is behind. No? So when it happens like that, if what is happening with you right now, what you explained, that state of mind, it is like somebody is sick, and he has been sick for quite some time, and then now he is on the path of recovery, he is almost recovered, no, and that how does that last stage, and then after that he probably comes back home, he still feels that he lives little bit of rest, he needs that thing, and still there is that carryover, that hangover which is there, right? So you are also in exactly that state of it, almost you are there now, and that small little bit thing which is remaining now, that is what is causing you, making you feel that again and remembering that thing. But with this practice, if you do, you will be able to get over that. That chitta that has that say over your things, it will slowly and gradually you'll be able to come out of that. No, so Vishnu also again explains him that the just like in the kids now they play that game of that chakra. A small chakra that which keeps rotating, and then you just pull it like this, keep doing it, it will keep continue to rotate. No, but if you just hold that string tightly with your fingers, then the chakra will stop rotating. So this is how it is that he gives him the now the solution here, that how he can get over this mind. Now it's been understood that it's all the game of your mind. Now how do we get over this mind? That we can do this about it, and then take a control on this. So like this, he explains all these multiple examples, and now the Gadhi Brahman understand that okay, this is all because of all these things, and he goes on to this Parvat mountain called Rishimukh Parvat, and then with and through the asana, he gets into that complete contemplation, and then he finally is able to spend 10 years like this, and then he becomes Atmagyani, and then like this Mahatma Gadhi, he achieves that supreme state of his being. No, so this is what is being now told by Vaashishtha to Rama. Vaashishtha Muni is explaining this story of Gadhi to Rama. So this is where the story pauses, and now the Vaashishtha is now start addressing Rama. No? So Rama is now telling to Gadhi that look, the way Bhagwan Vishnu have explained this, how this Maya, it takes over, and how it is, really we can really wonder about it, how many different miracles that it can happen in one's life, and how it actually entangles and take over, take control of the entire thing of the mind someone. It is really fascinating, but that we have understood, it is just an illusion, it is mithya. And this, once you have understood, then you are able to get over this. So he is telling now, hey Rama, hey Brahman, whatever the sthiti. Now Rama start asking questions here. Now he has listened to this story. Now he has some question that he is now asking to Vashishtha Muni, that Brahman, whatever that you have told, that sthiti, I accept that, and I understood that. There is still, I have one question, and that question is that once this is there, this Maya, which actually goes and completely creates that different illusions, and that become different Vedas, that discrimination, it is having such a speed. It goes, things happen with such a speed in all these things. This Brahm and illusion happens with such a things. Though, how do we really get over this? This chakra, Maya chakra, this illusion is there, that Maya is there. How do I stop that chakra, that which is in continuously rotating like this? No? So how do I stop it? Now this is where Vashishtha Muni is now started giving the solution to Rama. How do we get over this? So Vashishtha Muni explains that Rama, that whatever this Brahmit, this hallucination, that illusion that this creates, the center of this is nothing but your chitta. The center point of this is chitta. That chitta is the one which is controlling all these things. Now the example that we saw of a sphere, and there also we saw the center as a self. Now here the center is chitta of that individual consciousness. Chitta is there. Outer that space, what we saw is that chida akash, the chitta of the divine, that self, chitta, which is again alien, and at the center, that sphere, that is what is self. So that is what we can see. The jivatma, at the center of the jivatma, there is that chitta which is there in the center, and the real self is there, which is core center of the entire thing. So now this chitta, which is that individual consciousness, jiva is, we can say, now this is the root cause of all these things. It is because of all these things time. Now what you do, now you take control of this and apply the principle of this chitta, nirodha chitta. No? So that is what has been explained over here. And if we see, go back to our Patanjali Yoga Sutra also, it has been explained that yogaha chitta vritti nirodha. So this chitta ki vritti jo hai na, it goes here and there and continue to perform all this drama, what we have seen. Once you stop that, nirodha means like pause, stopping that activities of the mind, you will be able to get over this. No? Yoga chitta vritti nirodha means what will help you is the yoga. So that is of that thing. What are the practices that we do? No, what are the teachings that Gurudev have us? Yoga, yama, niyamas, all the 8 limbs of yoga, dhyana, dharana, pratyahara, all these things, and then Sudarshan Kriya, and the knowledge which is being told over here. Applying all these things with a regular practice of that, one can get over this. That is how we can do chittanash. We have to go ahead and do this chittanash. So that is what is now Vashishtha Muni also tells to the Rama, that one can get over this. And while doing so, we have to really, what is the very powerful thing that can help. Mukhya, the main thing is about your Atma Vigyan, means your Atma Gyan. Knowledge about yourself is really one thing that will get you take control of all these things. And to achieve that knowledge, you'll have to practice all other things that we are told. Then another thing is being explained here is that this is how one can get over the mind. And the main prime source of doing this is also you continuously follow the readings, the scriptures, the Guru Vachanas, the guides of the master, guidance of the master, and your Swanubhav, your self efforts, the Purushartha. Continuously together, all together, and these practices you have to put together, you have to continuously follow that. Then you will be able to get over this. So this main thing, Atma Gyan, self-inquiry, and Sadhu Sangati, and your practices will help you get over this. No? So then once you have actually hold on to that Atman, that Chaitanya. So that Atman, that Chaitanya, how is it that? No, it is just like a jewel, which is there. Even if it is there in the water, it is as it is self-shining, and the one who is looking for it can easily reach to it. So similarly, this self is so self-eliminated. So the one who really wants to go to it and want to find it out, they also will be able to reach to that. That is also been explained. And then the things continues that how one can do the anusandhan of Atma. No, how one can get to this. No, so here it is explained again. It is a repetition. It is explained that the way you do routine activities that you will do at that point of time, don't get entangled into the past and the future. And while doing routine activity into the present also, don't have any favorishness about it. Also, don't have that bhava of karta and bhokta, means I am not aware, neither I am the sufferer out here. Then this is mine. That also you have to drop. The bheda vritti, this is like this, that is like this. This is something favorable, this is not favorable. All this bheda vritti, that discrimination that we keep doing continuously, you have to drop all that. Then you have to first, when you get into the samadhi avastha, then you will start experiencing this slowly and gradually. Then once you experience that in your samadhi, then even in a jagrut avastha also, you will be able to apply this principle. So, okay, fine, I am doing the actions. I am not worried about the fruits of the action. Then, okay, fine, the people are there around me, the objects are there around me, situations are out there around me, but I am that Chaitanya, I'm just going through it. I am that ultimate observer, I'm going to do. Slowly and gradually, it will start happening with your Jagruta Avastha also. So now he is explaining that this Atma Jnana is the supreme. That's the reason this Yoga Vaashishtha knowledge is called the supreme knowledge. Why? Because this Atman knowledge, this self-realization alone is the supreme. Once we have that, automatically you are liberated. Automatically you are free. And the being, one who attains this, and the being who is in such that everybody, even the lords, Brahma, Vishnu, Mahesh, they want to stay with this personality. They want to spend their time with such personality, such being who is free, who is mukta. Everybody wants to be in the presence of such liberated people. Man, so that is how it is very important. One can really make one free. Right now, despite of having this body, it is capable of making this free. Now, this mind, whatever, why it is get entangled into all these things. So again, it says it's that vishayas, that tendencies of the mind to go outward, and again all these vikaras, the greed and the anger and the entanglement and pride and all these things, kama, krodha, lobha, mada, moha, etc. These are all the some of the things that one get entangled into it, and that is all. Then again, this mind, it starts getting into these things. I am this, I am that, I am the doer. Look at me, I am great, or I am hopeless. Into all such things, then these are the things that once that happens, then you are stuck into this mind. You are never be able to cut. So then, because of this, it is like supplying these things. It's just like giving a milk to the snake. So it is that thing. It is analogy that is being given, that you are supporting it like this, means you are actually exactly doing that, like this. So drop all these things, understanding all these things, just like the Gadhi Brahmana. Hey Rama, you also get over this. That is where Vaashishtha Muni concludes his session to Rama. And in the next story will come, the next chapter is the Uddalaka that we'll see start tomorrow. So with that note, I'll pause my session here. From my perspective, I'd like to hand over this session to all of you so that you can express your takeaways. If you have any question related to this, if there are still unanswered doubts or questions, we are welcome to discuss that. We will discuss it here. And if you feel like expressing yourself, your takeaways, you are welcome to do that also. So I'll open it, unmute option. You will be able to unmute yourself. And you can also use the chat option also.
Yeah. Jai Gurudev.
Jai Gurudev, Jai Nichi. Yeah, please go ahead.
Yeah. So we are coming to the concluding part of the Gadhi Brahmana story, in which he goes through the experiences of being a tribesman, which is like the most primitive form of the human being, and then to the highest, which is King Galava, where he has so much of power and control over people, and he's able to manage a kingdom. So Gadhi the Brahmana experiences all these things. Then when he comes to back to his Brahmana form, he is still puzzled about the happening. He was not able to understand the Maya so much. So then he speaks to Vishnu about it. And Vishnu tells Gadhi that you have fully seen the great spell of my magic and know the network of delusion which destiny spreads over the affairs of the world. So you have seen how the Maya encompasses the whole world, and everybody, acts according to this Maya. So he's got the first-hand experience of it. So thus you have got the sight of things present and thoughts about absent past and the unseen future. And these are only things which are happening in the mind. So everything that you have seen is only what has been conjured up by the mind. And your visit to Kira were the reflections of your own mind. Everything that you saw was only like a daydream. So, and it happens that sometimes many people, they perceive the same thing. Okay. So it's just that all of them are at that same level of in the Maya, and all of them have this simultaneous experience, we can say. They are all in the same current of opinions. And what happens is, like, they people may be working together and their efforts get certain results. So after explaining all this to Gadhi, Vishnu says, okay, like, since you want to be liberated, you need to perform 10 years of tapas. And after that, Gadhi was, he got the realization. He was realized. And then after listening to the story, Rama asked, like, how do we get over the Maya that encompasses everybody? So Vaashishtha says that we have to live in the present. Okay, so when we live in the present, we don't think about the other aspects of the past and the future, which are also just something in the mind. Okay, it's not the reality. Then we have to control our mind, heart, and greed. And when we are able to control these, we can slowly come closer to the reality. Yeah. So this is in brief what I could understand from the advice that was given by Vaashishtha to Rama. Jai Gurudev.
Jai Gurudev Jini, thank you so much for summarizing everything in such a short and sweet manner. Thank you so much for that. किसको अपने आप को व्यक्त करना है, आप जरूर अनम्यूट करके व्यक्त हो सकते हैं. Or if you have any questions, you are welcome to ask that also.
जय गुरुदेव भैया, आप दोनों को सुन के तृप्त हो गए. अभी व्यक्त कुछ नहीं करना है. बहुत बढ़िया, बहुत ही बढ़िया. मैं बहुत दिन के बाद ज्वाइन हुई हूँ. I had some other मतलब और जो कोर्सेस में कर रही हूँ, जैसे CST वगैरह, तो उसका बहुत सारा होमवर्क ये हुआ. So I'm getting distracted from this tuning. Now I'm trying to gather again. So I hope I come back regularly.
Absolutely.
It was wonderful listening to you.
Absolutely, Gauriji. This is your home.
Yeah.
This is your team. So it's not.
मैं आ गई जैसे मैं.
बिल्कुल बिल्कुल अपने आप के अंदर आ गए तो बस मायके ही आ गए. फिर गुरु की छत्र छाया में आ गए तो बस घर पे ही आ गए. फिर बढ़िया बढ़िया. Please do come and let's go through this together. It's really wonderful journey. We also have Sangeeta ji with us. Sangeeta ji, would you like to say? express yourself. Yeah, please go.
Yeah, thank you, Someshwar ji, for another beautiful story. And it ends with all the morals that is really required for us. So how to be in that consciousness, everything is of course repeated, but then I can see Yog Vaashishtha itself is a full repetition of again and again, the same thing, that it is only the infinite consciousness that limits into the finite mind, right? And that such agitation and expansion takes place. That is why it is called there. And the main part is like, I remember Gurudev saying right now, even the infinity has some motion in it. Did you hear that? Even the infinity means just like the ocean, it's there. But the waves are at, where there is no ocean, the waves are there. So it needs that space for that waves also. And in the same way, even the infinity has the movements inside, So that is what is saying, the consciousness, which is free from all the limitations of the mind, is also known as that intelligence, and it is essential nature of that no mind. So that no mind is also very much. So again, you need that space again, so that movement is going on inside. It's happening. So we just have to be with that. And that is the reality actually. And that is the supreme consciousness. That is that self that we are seeing. Yeah, this is the supreme self. And then, of course, the other way around is where there is mind, there flourish all hopes and desires, and there arise experiences of pain and pleasure wherever the mind is there. So again, now here, if we come to know, I would really wouldn't go much deep into that. I would say ki at the end, at the end, sage Vaashishtha continues that the mind is like a tree. Now we saw that, firmly rooted in the viscous field of that is known as body. So all the worries, anxiety, everything blossoms there, and it is laden with the fruits of old age, disease, everything. So what he says, cut this tree with the sharp axe known as your inquiry. So again, the self-inquiry comes up, and that is the axe which he gives you to cut that tree uproot that tree from the roots. Then sage Vaashishtha says to Rama, "Oh Rama, this mind is like an elephant which roams about in the forest as a body, in the body. It roams about. So its vision is clouded by delusion, and of course, it is violent, and then it wishes to perceive the truth which it hears from the wise men. So it goes on, caught up in the perception and diversity, and it is conditioned by its own concepts of pain and pleasure. And you are a lion amongst the princes. So you are a lion. So tear that elephant apart into the pieces with your sharp intelligence. So that is the second point which comes. And then he says, the first one, of course, was self-inquiry. Second one is the sharp intelligence. And then sage Vaashishtha says, "Oh Rama, this mind is like a crow which dwells in the nest of his body." So now he's explaining it to Rama in that way. Then it reveals in filth, it waxes strong by consuming flesh. So all those things which are there, what a crow can do. So it is doing all that. And it is full of evil tendencies, and it indulges in the violent expressions. It is a burden on earth. So then what you do? Drive it far away from yourself. How do we, drive the crow away? By clapping like this. So when you clap, the crow flies. Then he says, Rama, mind is like a ghost. Then he explains him, this mind is like a venomous serpent. So again, you use your appropriate contemplative formula for this to have the victory over your mind. Then he says, monkey, it's like a monkey. So, oh Rama, mind is like a monkey. It roams from one place to another. So monkey minded, exactly what we know. Restrain it from all the sides if you wish to attain the perfection. So again, have that. Restrain your minds from all the sides. Means wherever the energy is flowing, just take it to the center and then you attain the perfection. And lastly, he says this mind is like a cloud of ignorance. Dispel it by the repeated renunciation of all concepts and percepts. So the cloud of ignorance. Okay. Then even as a terrible weapon is encountered and destroyed by more powerful weapon, tranquilize the mind with the help of the mind itself. Loha lohe ko todta hai. That is what he's saying. So tranquilize your mind with the help of the mind itself. And that we saw again in the previous story, how you have to be very, childlike, and you have to be very playful with your mind. With that, you can tranquilize your mind. Remain at peace within yourself like a tree, freed from disturbances caused by monkeys. So again, come back to your own self, and that individualized mind, merge it into the infinite mind. And you can be at peace within yourself. So that was very beautifully, and the end is so nice, so beautiful. Again and again, instead of he's explaining everything, so he explained so nicely, like mind is so and so and so and so. The whole of the mind he explained, So that again, you come back to your own self. Thank you very much, Someshwar ji, and thank you all of you. Jai Guru.
Thank you so much, Sangeeta. That was really very beautiful. Few more additions and contributions of understanding. Wonderful. Excellent. So how is this mind? That flow is continuously happening, right? So it's like you are driving on the road, you are on the highway, not just a highway, it's a national highway. So if more than that, something more than that, it is like this. So what happens? When we drive the car and when we are driving it, there are those bumps that comes in between, bumpers. So it is that bumpers that you have to apply when you hold your breath. That mind becomes standstill. So it's that we want to drive the car with that full speed, just like the national highways. All the point of time says, no, come on. When you are in this world, we are driving on the roads which are in the city. You have to, in between, if you do not apply, then if you just continue with that same speed which you are going on the national highway, here there is a probability of either you hitting someone or you getting hit by someone. That accident may happen. So what to do? In between, there are brakes, there are bumpers. Apply the brakes and reduce the speed of your car. So that is what is there. So when you do breath, you chant Om, you do Sudarshan Kriya, you do yoga, pranayama, meditation. What is that we are doing? We are applying that chitta ki vritti ko hum log kya karte hain? We are applying that bumper. That once you apply the bumper, it will stop the flow of that. So once you stop the flow of that, you will go back to the self. In the pockets initially, and then that experience will prolong over a period of time of practice. It will prolong and it will become 24/7. Okay. So anybody else would like to express themselves? Veena ji, aap kuch कहना चाहते हैं? Jai Gurudev.
Yeah, so beautifully explained, And I was just thinking about how Yog Vaashishtha is very softly, just like a mother, a mother is giving a lesson to the child, because Rama is a very pure and highest level of consciousness, So he is by all these means, that the mind is like a ghost, the mind is like this and that, and he's just trying to put at one place. Although he knows that he is already in a very highest position, but still he is, in order to convey the message to all the humanity, he is just trying to convey this message through the Rama. So I was just wondering that in although we know each and every bit of thing, we are aware that mind is not stable. We are still entangled in so many things, but how to bring it back, to our source. Whenever the things are moved here and there, whenever we just get the things not up to the mark. So at that time, if you will keep reading this Yog Vaashishtha, no, it will really helps you. Otherwise, so many times, you are being shattered away from these all these obstacles. So it is the only and only knowledge which can bring you back. Otherwise, no other thing. And honestly speaking, whenever I myself apply on my this knowledge, will help you to reduce that intensity. It helps you to come back to your source. So that's why you keep on listening the knowledge, and then it will be instilled in your consciousness. And unknowingly, although you will get angry, although you will fall apart, still the inner consciousness will really help you to bring it out within a very short span of time. So that is the beauty of being in knowledge, and keep listening and brushing up the things, whatever has been told in the ancient traditions and the scriptures. So that is the beauty. Otherwise, everything is being told by Sangeeta ji and other you, and everything is explained. But the thing is that we have to keep on repeating on the things. Knowledge is not just once listening and okay, we can understand, but many a time we slip off. So that time knowledge comes.
So I would like to add there, if you don't mind, just a minute. Yog Vaashishtha says to Rama, ki cut off all the fetters of desire and hope solely with intelligence that is unlimited, which is endowed with patience and perseverance, and go beyond dharma and adharma. When one is firmly rooted in self-knowledge, even the worst of poisons turns into immortalizing nectar. So even those poisons which you feel, now the mind is troubling you, if this is happening, that is happening, some things are coming in front of me, some situations are there, they all turn into the nectar later. So just have that. But it is with patience and perseverance. So that is there, that is the important thing. Means you have to keep on doing it every time. It's not that moment to moment which Someshwarji said, again he's saying that also. Every moment you have to be there, means you have to go on till it becomes your, you are that nature. But then of course it takes you that much, a bit of time to, just another example also he has given, just like lamp lose their luminosity while the midday sun shines. It's a beautiful one. You take a lamp and you go ahead. But when the sun is shining in the midday, does that lamp give you a work? So initially, of course, when we are coming here, so, we take a lamp and we go on. But then sometimes later it comes ki you are in the midday sunshine. Then what happens? Then there's no need of that lamp. It's like that. So very beautiful it is. Really, if you go on doing and go on reading it. So, it's that you have to mark, that जो पत्थर पे जो लकीर है वो एक बार में नहीं आती है, you have to keep on doing it every time. Keep on doing it. So that is the point. So every time you have to do it. Yeah. And that's what it is.
And one more point to which I really, it really touches my heart is that finite mind is it's like lives in an infinite, and infinity brings the illusions, and creates all these things. Again, it bring back to that cycle, that finite mind and infinity, and it's going on throughout the time. That's why it is called a Yog Maya, and why we are calling. So that is also necessary, equally it is needed, that needs to keep the balance, First, you should be ignorant. While you are child, you are ignorant. Then you gain the knowledge. Then you should forget the knowledge also, to merge up in that infinity. So this cycle is it's just like that, you know. That's the beauty of it, you know. I like this point also very much.
Because the mind is just like a drop of water having all the qualities of the ocean in it, even though it is a drop, but it has all the qualities of ocean in it. So in the same way, mind is finite, but it is what? It is actually infinite. No? So it has all the qualities of infinite in it already present. You know, that is the point.
True, true, true.
Really amazing conversation. So that drop has all the qualities of the ocean, not just the good qualities, it also brings the state nature, no? That both qualities do exist. No? If you want to get rid of negative qualities and be associated positive, that doesn't, it's not this come that also will come, but then coming back to the center is the key here. Having that balance is the key. It will be there. No? In that chakra, the vicious cycle, this will all be present. All these experiences, good and bad, will be there, but you will be just an observer now, not a sufferer. With that note, we'll pause this session today so that we can meet tomorrow. Jai Gurudev.